All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rechakwadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you Sensa Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect. It's going to be just some quick wisdom through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, going into how there is a balance to everything. Okay, there is a balance to everything. Okay, I don't have many precepts. Lord willing, the Most High give me a couple more. But this lesson is to myself first. Just want to say that because this is something that I am personally learning and personally dealing with, right? As we all. But this is just something that I've been, the Lord has been, pushing on me, dealing with my own, personal issues and day-to-day life. Okay? Because the whole purpose of this truth, the whole purpose of this ministry is for the elect man of the nation of Israel to be edified, to be built up, and to be taken from a regular man and to be turned into a god, turned to be a judge, turned to be a king, right? Which is going to physically manifest in the world to come. But it starts on this side, and it starts with ourselves. As the scriptures say, he that have no rule over his spirit is like a city without walls, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, the scriptures also say that he that ruleth his spirit is better than he that taketh a city. Scriptures say wisdom is better than weapons of war, right? So in this truth of ours, in these things of ours, we have to maximize our wisdom. Okay, and one key point with maximizing your wisdom is understanding that there's a balance in everything. That's a very fundamental key to wisdom. Okay, and again, I'm talking to myself first because I'm just going to use an example. Of course, we're talking about everything, literally everything, when it comes to, of course, this truth, right? There's a balance to this truth. You're not going to be reading all day or, in the spirit all day long. We have lives. Some of the brothers have wives, children. You have to work. So you have a work life, spiritual life, family life balance. You got to juggle multiple, aspects of life, right? But of course, with your diet, you have to people speak about a balanced diet, right? Because what I want to one of the points I want to make clear in this lesson is balance is completely not 50-50. 50-50 is not balance. Okay, like let's use the example of a balanced diet. You have people that say, you have to eat a balanced diet. You have to eat it so you so you think if you eat, for every bite of meat you eat, you got to eat some vegetables with it because it had to be balanced. No, 50-50 is not balance. Okay, there's everything has its own balance. Everything has its own limit. Okay, there's a limit with everything. That don't mean if I do one thing 50%, right? Yeah, it's Salakia for that noise, but again, so there's a limit with everything. Okay, another example, any brother that knows me personally, they know that I am big into the herbs, right? And healing in general, health in general. Okay, and there's there's levels to understanding health, understanding wellness and nutrition. Okay, I've always been big into the herbs, but we always should be learning. We should always be growing, and everybody is on their own journey when it comes to, health and wellness and nutrition, right? So, like, let's say with the herbs, one thing that a lot of people that are big into herbs and herbal medicine, one main thing that a lot of people don't really talk about or bring up, whether it's because they just simply don't know, because they haven't been talking, nobody really talks about it, or they just are willingly ignorant, is the conversation, the reality of toxins in plants. Okay, a lot of people are big in, to herbs. I'm big into the herbs, right? But nobody likes to talk about the fact of the matter is that all plants have what's called plant defense chemicals. Okay? Plants don't have arms and legs and teeth and claws to defend themselves like animals do, right? Even you have certain animals like snakes and spiders and scorpions that create poisons, right? Their own form of poison, venom, whatever, to defend themselves, right? So what do plants have to defend themselves? They do the same thing. They produce chemicals. They produce toxins. Okay, a lot of people, we like to talk about pesticides, right? Yeah, the farmers and people, they're spraying pesticides on the plants. The plants already have pesticides in them. Okay, the plants create their own natural pesticides to keep the bugs from eating them. Okay, to keep other animals from eating them. And all plants have their own forms of it. There's millions and billions of different toxins and things, nasty things that all plants produce to defend themselves. Plants, all life has a willingness to live, to continue living. Nothing alive wants to die. Okay, so all life forms, the Most High gave all life forms a way to defend themselves, right? So, and even with animals that eat herbs and eat plants like herbivores, if you really get into it, you will find out that they are adapted. Most of them are adapted to eating one type of plant, and that one plant, like a koala bear only eats eucalyptus, because that species, that animal, has adapted to eating that specific plant. If another animal try to eat that plant, they'll die. If a koala try to eat another plant, they'll die. You give chocolate to a dog, it will die. Everybody knows this. But humans, we can eat chocolate, right? But that doesn't mean that that it's not doing no harm to you. Just because you ain't dropped dead, right, doesn't mean that is not doing you any harm on a subtle level. But if you overdo it, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to have negative consequences. That's what all herbs. So a true herbalist, somebody that's really into the herbs and really blessed by the Lord to get into the herbs, they have to acknowledge that. If you're not acknowledging that, you don't really know what you're talking about when it comes to the herbs and health and nutrition. If you're not acknowledging plant toxins and if you're just saying, yeah, plants are all good, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay? And a real herbalist knows how to mitigate the negative effects from certain herbs and amplify the positive effects. Okay, and one way you can do that is through fermentation. Okay, fermentation. You take different herbs and you put it, in a vessel, and you let it ferment. You just got to get into the science of fermentation, understand how that process works. Okay, a good example of that is with bread. With bread, right, which comes from wheat grain, the actual grain itself, especially the grain we eat today, is not the same grain that we were eating in the ancient times. It's highly modified, highly hybridized, right? But if you really get into it, grain, wheat, especially what we eat today, is filled with something called phytic acid. Right? Phytic acid is a chelator, which means it pulls minerals out of your body. Right? A lot of people talk about the chelators like cilantro. Cilantro, it helps pull heavy metals out of your body, which at first thought, that's a good thing, right? We understand we deal with heavy metals being in this polluted world, polluted water, polluted air, right? They're spraying chemtrails, barium, aluminum in the air, right? They got fluoride in the water, so that sounds great, right? But if it can pull those heavy metals out of your body, what about the lighter metals, like iron, like zinc, like copper, that your body needs? It's pulling that shit out too. It's pulling that shit right out too. So when you ferment bread, that's what you're supposed to do. Today they call that sourdough. Like it's a different bread, but that's the type of bread you're supposed to eat. You're supposed to eat sourdough. You're supposed to let it leaven for hours. And what that does is that leaven, which is yeast, a type of fungi, it breaks down the phytic acid. It breaks down the gluten. It breaks down the nasty stuff that you don't want. That's the whole purpose of leavening bread. Because the ancients knew this. Okay, Adam, he knew that. The ancient, they really understood the herbs, and they understood that these shits are poison. There's a lot of poison in them. Doesn't mean you can't extract the good stuff, but you have to extract it. Okay, you're getting into tinctures, and you gotta know how to extract the shit. So I say all that to say this. I'm just using that as an example, right? So if you're a type of person, you just eating like heavy greens, leafy greens, which are chelators. You just eating big ass bowls of kale and spinach. That shit is doing more harm to you than good. And what you think? You see? Again, I'm all for herbal medicine, but it's medicine. I'm not talking about you just eating big ass greens and shit. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. A cow has 4 stomachs. Human beings only have 1. The cow that's an herbivore only eats grass, needs 4 stomachs to digest that grass. We only got 1. So that right there tells you that it's much harder to digest plant materials than it is to digest meat. So that's obvious. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why the what's happening in the gut of the cow is the same thing that's happening in the process of sourdough fermentation. The grass is fermenting in the gut of the cow, and the bacteria that live in the cow break down the grass, and the cows digest the bacteria. The bacteria also make the nutrients in the herbs more bioavailable. So people talk about the nutrients in different herbs, but if it's not in a bioavailable form, like let's say you have plants that have iron. If the iron in plants and the iron, there's many different forms of iron. You have something called heme iron. That's the type of iron that's found in animal foods like red meat. That's the same type of iron that your body can utilize. Now, you can eat a plant that contains iron, but that's not heme iron. So your body has to take that and convert it into a form of iron that it can use. But if you just eat it from red meat, it's readily available. It goes straight to being used by the body. And if you eat plants looking for iron, I'm using that as an example, your body has to convert that iron again to a form that it can use, and the conversion rate is nowhere near optimal. So even the amount of iron that your body can take from it is nowhere near the amount of iron that's in it. You see? And again, people don't talk about this shit. So I'm using all this as an example, okay? Herbs, that's one thing. Music, right? Music, that's another powerful tool that, as the scriptures speak about music being a powerful tool, but you got to know how to use it. If you just wake up in the morning, just turn on music every day, you go on the riding to work with the music playing, that you're not giving your subconscious mind time to wonder. You see? So these are examples. There's many different examples. You could go on and on. So this is Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. You see? So, and there's a balance to everything. You have to find the balance. Again, balance is not 50-50. Everything has its own balance, and everything has a balance for different people. You feel me? I may be able to indulge in certain things more than another brother can, or another brother can't indulge in at all. Something that's lawful, but again, not everything that's lawful is expedient, right? And everything is not good for every man. The scriptures tell us this. So again, I'm big into the herbs. I'm big into, herbal healing, even recreational use of herbs. Because you drinking coffee, that ain't medicinal, but you drink it for caffeine, a good hit of caffeine. Brothers work long hours and shit. I drink coffee here and there. I drink caffeinated, things. But since we're on the topic of caffeine, you got matcha. I used to drink a lot of matcha powder, which is grounded green tea, thinking that shit was healthier than coffee. But when you really get into it, matcha is full with fluoride because of the way they grow it in Japan. The chemical runoff is filled with fluoride. It's high in fluoride. So you brothers out there to drink matcha, nobody should be drinking that shit. Green tea, which is matcha, is more because you actually powdered up the green tea. When you're drinking green tea, you just boil the leaves and throw the leaves away. You see? So that's a form of mitigating plant toxins and plant chemicals. So again, it's just, I'm ranting now, but that's just something I wanted to put out through the spirit, man. I hope it was edifying. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.